So when you're setting up your ChatGPT chatbot for your users to interact with on your app, first you'll need to go to your plugins, API connector, and open up the OpenAI API and add your content type and authorization. Your authorization will be bearer API key from OpenAI, and the content type is application JSON. So from the admin portal of the Foundation template, you can manage your Chat GPT window and its different settings. So you can change the name of your chat window. This really is just for internal backend use. You can select which GPT model you want your chat to use. The template comes with 3.5 Turbo, GPT-4 as option sets, but you can add more, especially as OpenAI releases more models, and you can set the number of choices that you want each response to return. All of these inputs are auto-binded, so you don't have to click save or anything. And then here you can manage the system message and add preset prompt messages as an assistant or a user type. So in OpenAI's API documentation, you can define a system message. This is basically context that you're giving to the chat conversation and kind of background around what you want the GPT chatbot to do. And so here we say, your job is to chat with the user and be as useful as possible based on the context below. You can change this to say things like, I want you to help close deals. I want you to help, be a customer support agent for the platform, or whatever you want your chatbot to do. And then we have this context vars, or context variables. This is a dynamic tag where if we remove it, you'll be prompted to add it back. And what this does is when a new message is sent, the context vars, the backend of Bubble does a search for context vars in the system message and does a find and replace with all variables that you define here. You can add as many variables as you want, and each variable has a name and content. This is just text content that you can copy and paste from your website, your documentation, your support resources, any information that you want your chatbot to be aware of and be able to use as information when answering questions that your users may have. This is where you'll put it. So you'll define all of your variables, and from your system message, again, this context vars will be replaced with all of these variables. So the chat ends up looking like this. And another tip here, if you're an admin and you're using the chat window, you have this little array button. You can click on it and see the actual JSON that's being sent to OpenAI's API. So you can see the role is system, the content is your job is to chat with the user, blah, blah, blah. And then instead of context vars, it passes in the user's first name, and then it passes in the context information containing all of the different variables. So here's the variable name, all the variable information, all the way down to here. And then the next message is role of assistant or the chatbot. And the first message is, hello, what can I help you with? And I already have some chat messages in here. And so you can see all of those here. If you want your chat window to, for example, if I reset the chat, when I start the chat here, it immediately shows this question. And so that is defined down in the prompt messages as an assistant and the message that you want it to send. And you can add more messages to this as well, just by creating a new message. And that is how the ChatGPT functionality works with the Foundation template. Next, we'll move on to the email templates.